What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buffalo Commander. I'm your host, Alex. Please like, share, and subscribe. Kevin is back today. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? How you
Good.
doing?
Good. That was a smooth intro. I didn't even have to think about it that time.
Yeah, you're getting better.
Usually
I
have
love it.
to reset 3 times.
Right.
Um,
First
so
first try.
yeah, we want to go to just to kick it off. How'd you feel about the Commanders Giants game this past Sunday?
Yeah, well, from the game itself, it's obviously the Giants blew it. They, as bad as the Giants are, I still think they were a better team than us. They should have won the game. The coach totally blew it and should have had a backup kicker, especially now that we know that Gano was on the injury report and had a lingering injury to begin with. That's really why they lost, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they scored 3 touchdowns. They didn't kick an extra point on any of them because their kicker went down. They missed one too. So that was the difference in the game. And that's why we ended up winning. We'll take it. It feels good to beat an NFC East rival, but we had no business winning. And that's the big takeaway from that game. Now, the larger takeaway, I'm just going to start with that, and then we can actually dive into the offense and defense a little bit, is after one game, you can still say, okay, we can't really come to any conclusions in one game, but now we see trends, right? And I think it's very clear we kind of are where we thought we would be. We didn't think this would be a very good team. Jayden Daniels is great. We're super excited about the future. It's all about him this year. Let's see him progress and get better, which, by the way, he has done already substantially from week 1 to week 2. I mean, it's awesome to see, but it's very clear we may grab a win here and there because we were able to keep our crappy defense off the field, right?
Yeah.
We may have a lucky takeaway, kind of like we had in this Giants game when St. Juice was able to punch that ball out. But we're not a very good team. We're pretty bad. We're pretty horrid.
I don't think you're that bad. I think that I think it was interesting. I watched the game too because Bills weren't playing. I got to really dive in deep to it, and none of the rookies have thrown a touchdown pass this year. Not one.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there's a trend in the NFL. We've got the least amount of touchdowns or passing touchdowns in the first 2 weeks since 2006.
Right.
It's a long time.
That is football. A long time.
So it shows you there's definitely a trend here where, and I don't think it's just this like too high shell thing people keep talking about. Like that's been around forever. It's just now teams are starting to take advantage of the nickel corner instead of the linebacker being on the field, and they're just going to run it at you because teams are giving it to you, right? So Washington's leaning into that just like everyone else is. And
of course,
the only thing I saw with Daniels that I didn't like, I think he fixed it in the second half somewhat, was you could tell he was hesitating when he was looking down the field. There was openings to make throws that he just didn't take. And it's just a confidence thing. He's just kind of got to get that under his belt. In the second half, he did better at it. I thought the other piece that I thought was interesting was you talking about the field goal kicker. You told me this. Brian Daboll didn't even try to address it. They knew that the kicker was hurt. That's egregious. That really is egregious. That's just bad. I mean, they're just a shitty run organization. Seriously, nothing like that.
Yeah, and I can't stand that guy because I can't stand him because you just develop this hate for a coach when every time your team plays them, they seem to beat you. And the Giants have had our number, so they kept showing them. And I'm just so glad we beat them. We shouldn't have won, but we won.
You flipped the script too, like on offense, you got to the red zone multiple times.
Yeah.
You just didn't capitalize. So, I mean, you could have won by a lot. You just didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes with what you said, too. I'm not super concerned he hasn't thrown any touchdowns. I'm not even concerned that we're 0 for 6 in the red zone because I think that the major culprit is penalties, and you can fix that.
Yeah.
I have no doubt they're addressing that, and they're calling people out this whole week, and it's going to be better.
Yeah.
So I think that will come. The fact, we didn't have to punt the entire game. We are moving the ball down the field. I'm just so excited about Jayden Daniels. The thing I'm most impressed with out of all of this, his command of the line pre-snap.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's looking at. He knows what he's doing. He's making the adjustments. I mean, this dude looks like a professional. Like you said, he still has a lot of work to do and some confidence. He is starting to throw over the middle, which, I mean, that one pass to Noah Brown was amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
And if you listen to my video from week 1,
Mhm.
I sound different right now because I was still a little skeptical of Daniels.
Sure.
I've heard a lot, but I'm seeing enough now to say, okay, I get it now. The guy is very confident.
Mhm.
He's got a way about him where he's able to evade pressure, and it seems to he seems to be able to protect himself, although he took a big hit to the
Yeah.
ribs. I love everything about him, and
The
I am
key
excited about that.
I think the
what we're
key
gonna-
I think the
Yeah.
key too is, you started to do it a little bit this past game, is using Zach Ertz in the red zone.
Yeah, that's
Use
gonna be
Noah
huge.
Brown in the red zone. Use your big bodies. You don't have a lot of those,
Right.
so use the 2 you got. Run some screens. Do some stuff that bootleg works really well, and that's something that Daniels definitely can do.
And then how about, you probably know the actual name of the call. You're better at that than me, where the entire offense moved to the right after the snap, and it was a bootleg, but then Daniels threw that ball over to the running back on the opposite side. So everything shifted to the right, like he was and then he turned around and he actually threw the ball to our running
Brian.
back.
Eckler.
To Eckler, who went 30
that was
yards.
a great play.
And
I don't know what that's called. I don't know what the exact play call on that is.
Oh, that
but
was such a good call.
I noticed it because Eckler needs the ball more. He gets a lot of burst.
I mean, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm a little biased here, but I think that our 1-2 running back punch is probably one of the best in the league.
Top 5. I'd say it's probably top 5 for sure.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 guys, as long as Eckler doesn't lose a step for his age throughout the year, Brian Robinson looks really good. The only thing that hurts Brian Robinson is exactly what you saw this past Sunday. He got onto the open field and they caught him from behind.
Yeah. Well, they're 2 different runners, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to happen, but they're 2 different style runners, which is also going to keep the defense off, they're just totally different styles, which I love.
Right.
But I think every week, you're just going to see this improvement with everybody. I don't think we're going to see McLaurin, and we saw it this week. We're in the past, we're used to McLaurin getting all the catches and all the, but I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think that's going to go away, because I think that the way this offense runs, it opens up opportunities for really everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing.
Just being efficient.
I think Noah Brown's going to continue to get a lot of catches. I thought McCaffrey would be more involved. He didn't even have a throw to him. He wasn't even in the game.
He's a rookie. That happened to us with Keon Coleman this week. He got 1 target, and it was late when nothing else was going. We were up 31-10.
Yeah, so it's clear the offense is actually pretty good, and it's only going to get better. Our only hope is that they can stay. They did have these long, sustaining drives. If they're able to do that, we have a shot in games. But let's be honest, our defense is horrid. It's really, I don't think it's even a coaching issue, Alex. I think it's a talent issue.
It's
just they don't have the talent, man. It's just,
Yeah, so speaking of that, this week you're playing the Bengals, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, T. Higgins is not going to play probably, and Chase is playing kind of 75, probably 80%, unless he's just lost a little bit of a step after the injury. Who knows? I doubt that, but this is going to be a big test for the secondary and the young guys you have, because there are some pieces like, what's the dude's name? The safety you got from Carolina? Chin. I think he's got potential. He made a play last week that I thought was pretty impressive. And then you've got the kid from Syracuse, or is it Illinois? The kid from Martin. Quan Martin.
Quan Martin.
Yeah, he's a good player, and I think just needs some more reps. And then you have Sanders still, who's a really good slot corner. He actually is grading really well.
He hasn't.
Well, on the the thing I saw for coverage grade, he was fine. He was like right in the middle of the road.
Yeah, this last.
I don't know if it's PFF or not.
Oh, okay.
So what is your projection for this game, and like just the matchups and everything else? Like, how do you see it unfolding for you guys this week?
I think it's going to be a blowout.
You think you're going to get killed?
Really the Bengals are pissed. They just lost to the Chiefs. Jamar Chase is pissed, obviously, with that whole thing. Yeah. And I think he's going to have his day with the Commanders and the defense. We can't. The corners are just going to get eaten up. Now St. Juste, he's okay.
He's okay.
He hasn't done anything egregious, but there's just a lack of real talent. And Malik Neighbors, let's be honest, that it's clear this guy's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
He's
like a Jamar Chase clone in some ways.
Oh, he's great.
So-
Nobody can cover him. But when you get out Forbes, and I think they just used the thumbs thing as an excuse because he could have played.
Yeah.
And you bring in Michael Davis, who just got burned every time.
He's just slow. He's just too slow.
Yeah. So I think they're going to have their day.
Okay.
They're going to have a big day against us. And I think that we'll probably see greatness in Jaden Daniels. We'll probably see some improvement with the false starts.
Yeah.
And our only hope is that we can just keep him off the field because I don't think we can stop him.
It's a battle of the last two Heisman quarterback LSU players.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. The last two Heisman quarterbacks they've had.
Now, what do you think of Burrow? Do you think he's healthy? I mean, do you think he looked pretty good against Kansas City?
I think what we're going to see from Burrow, and I think this is pretty clear at this point, is this wrist injury is not something any quarterback's ever had to come back from in NFL history. He already has arm strength, mediocre arm strength at best, right?
Yeah.
Or probably a little below average. And I don't think this thing is ever truly going to be healed. What my guess is that it's going to be week to week on how much velocity he has. Like week 1, his balls, I don't think he felt comfortable throwing 30 yards. Week 2, he felt comfortable throwing balls, but he wasn't throwing super far downfield or anything either. And I think part of it is just pain management before the game and how much wear and tear he's going to put on that wrist every single week. People were talking about, well, his wrist is fine now after 1 week. That's not the case. They probably shot his wrist up with some stuff to get the pain away so he could play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Do I think they do that every single week? Probably not. And I think you're going to see a wavering effectiveness from him and his arm strength. So you could maybe take advantage of that. I don't think he's ever going to be pain-free the same he ever was before. I think you'll see flashes and glimpses of it like you may have seen a little bit last week. I don't think he's ever going to be the Burrow of old. And Burrow is already, I know people love Burrow, but to me, he's a top 10 quarterback masquerading as a top 3 quarterback because he has the best wide receiver weapons in the league.
Yeah.
Like, if you're asking me, Chase and Higgins are if you're putting them against Tyreek and Waddle, even, I'd take Higgins and Chase over those guys as a team, as a tandem, because they do different things,
Yeah. Well,
so
as far as this game, top 10, top 15, whatever for Burrow, he's going to have all day to throw. It's not just the cornerbacks.
Yeah.
We have no defensive ends that can actually.
There's no pressure. You need middle pressure. If you can get Payne and Allen with middle.
I'm starting to think that we talk about these guys all the time, Payne, and you can tell I'm a little negative about. We talk about Payne and Jonathan Allen all the time.
Yep.
They get a little bit of pressure, but they never really do anything.
Yeah.
And he's going to have all day. And when you have all day with cornerbacks that can't really hold on to these, if we're going to still do man coverage, which we've been doing, you're just going to see these easy out routes with the cornerbacks, and they're going to get 15 yards every time. Yeah. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Luvu's going to have to play lights out again. Like, they're just going to have to do a lot. I think you're right. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to say 38 to 16.
Ooh, I don't know if they get that many points. My guess would be 24-13. Bengals.
Write this down.
Yep, write them down. Here's what I think. I don't think that the Bengals are going to score. They're not as high. They're not as high flying right now as they have been. I don't think that 38's in the cards. Well, I do think your offense is going to take. I think you're going to get a score in the red zone this week.
Okay. Well, they played the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the Patriots look formidable at this point.
Right. Their defense isn't bad, and they played the Chiefs. So and now they're going to just eat all day against the Commanders. So.
Yeah, but they're not a stamp on your throat kind of offense. So like they'll get up on you and then they'll coast. They've done that in the past with games, even against Buffalo, and Buffalo played poorly. They get 26, 27 points, and then they just kind of.
All right. Can I change? I'm going to change mine to 31-16.
Okay. I think that's a reasonable score too. I think that you're going to get a touchdown in the red zone this week. That's my prediction. And then you're going to still have some troubles getting in the end zone, but you're going to get one. And then you'll have 2 other field goals. Their pass rush is really good. They got a good secondary. Their defensive scheme is good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a test. This is going to be the best test for him so far because Lou Anarumo, their defensive coordinator, is crafty. He knows how to cook it up.
By the way, do you know that our boy Brandon Coleman, who we talk about a lot, the guy we drafted?
Yeah.
I know you're not a huge believer in PFF, right?
I'm in the middle.
Yeah. He was graded a 34.
Oh, really?
Last week.
Well, they graded our center a 31, and he didn't give up a pressure. Okay. So I don't know where it comes from sometimes. That's my issue with it. I'm half and half on it. I did not notice any real big issues from Coleman protecting the blind side at all. I think also Jaden Daniels, who's super shifty, runs into pressure sometimes.
He runs into pressure.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how they grade that sometimes.
They do grade that against the quarterback if he gets the sack, but if he doesn't, it's a pressure. That's from what I understand.
Right.
All right. So
all right, man.
Prediction on my game, real quick. Bills, Jags. This is the way I see it. This game if this was a short week, it'd be a trap game, but it's a 10-day wait since the last time we played. It's a little bit scary spot because the Jags have not won yet.
Yeah.
They're a desperate team and
they're due.
Right.
Due.
So jinx. Buy me a Coke. So what I would say is that's the only reason I would ever have faith in the Jags in this game. Otherwise, I'd pick the Bills to win by a lot. And I'm trying to get myself out of this like jinxing, what's the word for it? Like the teams are due for a win kind of mindset. Like the Dolphins were due for a win against us. We were like 12-1 against them with Josh Allen, and we beat the shit out of them. So it's not a thing, really. It's just us.
Not.
We're putting that into the idea every time it happens, but a lot of times it doesn't. So with that said, I think that Buffalo's D-line can really feast on their O-line. Tyson Campbell, their best corner, who's a top 5 corner in the league, really, really good player. He's out. And Evan Ingram's doubtful. So they're going to be down to a rookie wide receiver who's very good. Gabe Davis, who isn't very good. And Christian Kirk, who hasn't done anything. So, and honestly, our secondary's been lights the freak out. So,
you don't think Gabe's going to have a big game against you guys just because?
No. I mean, if he does, I'd be shocked, but that's fine. He doesn't get any separation. He drops passes. I don't really buy into it. But what I would say, the one thing that could wreck our game is Josh Hines Allen and Walker. So if we can't block those guys, it could be a very close contest. This is a get-back game for us, though. They stole a home game from us last year, sent us to London while Jags got to wait 2 weeks on us to play. It was an awful situation.
And I didn't even call you during that.
I know. That's nice. That's a good friend.
Yeah, good guy.
So that's my thing. Is like I think we view this also as like this is the game that you stole from us. We're going to win. We're going to come at you. So, and then the 10-day rest, I really like that. It bodes well for the vibes of the game because I think vibes matter as far as momentum goes. So I'm going to pick the Bills. I think that the Jags are going to be reeling after this. We're going to see a Peterson on the hot seat mid-season kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
I score prediction for me. Buffalo scored 30 the first 2 weeks. I don't think it's quite that much this time. I'd say 27 to 17. 27-17.
Okay.
Bills. Any thoughts?
Just I'm going to say 24-23 Bills.
Man, you're picking the 1-pointer, huh? I hate when they do that. Never happens, by the way. 1-point wins are like super rare. People don't realize how rare they are. Like you might get 1-point win per every 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
3-point games are the most common.
Yeah. Well, our two teams could not be any more different if we tried, the Bills and the Commanders, which is kind of hilarious that we're the Buffalo Commander. It's just funny. You know, it's like the yin and the yang together.
We're just different teams, you know, just different conferences, both in the East though. Maybe we can market the cast with an East name in it, but
that's good.
But yeah, so I think that's probably where I would land on it. Not much else to say about it. I think that, you know, Bills are on a riding high right now.
Right.
We're going to see them have to do things this week that we didn't do last week is the main thing.
Right.
We're going to have to win against man coverage. They're the number one man coverage team in the league. We have not seen that this year with this new receiving core. So that's going to mean a lot as well.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, that's all I got today, man.
Yep. That's it, man.
Good. All right. Everybody like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you for the post game on Tuesday.
Go Commanders.
Go Bills.